to class just yet. Are you guys excited? I'm sure you do want to go to class. It's just you're enjoying the program so much that you want to stay. That's probably it, right? He was going to throw the water bottle at me if I sent him to class. But okay, so since we're going to be here, we have another important speaker that's going to be coming up on stage, and she's going to be talking to us all about the importance of the ocean. Do we like the ocean? Do we want to keep the ocean clean? Do we like swimming in the ocean? Let me see your best swimming technique. Let me see your best swimming technique. That's really good. One hand though, that's pretty good. You may be an Olympic swimmer. Awesome. So our next speaker comes from, everybody read that on, what does that say on the screen? Azraq. Does anybody know what that means? What does that mean? Blue. What language is that? Azra, that's right. So our speaker comes from that organization. She's going to be talking to us all about the importance of keeping our oceans clean, why we have to do so, and the dangers of polluting at the beach or at the ocean. So the same thing we did with our last speakers. Let's give her a big round of applause. She is wearing the shark outfit. Miss Marion, everybody, from Azraq.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for having me here today. I am Maz, otherwise known as Miss Shark. So thanks for having me. I'm going to tell you all about the ocean today and why it's so important to keep it clean. Oh, okay. So, I'm from an organization called Azraq, which we said is the word for blue. So we stand to protect the oceans and to keep them cleaner and healthier for all of us to enjoy into the future. And so what we do as an organization, we're something called a non-profit organization. So we're not a business. We just do this through volunteer work and through our own time. And we are here to raise awareness around issues to do with the ocean. Can anyone tell me what's a problem, a challenge that we have with the ocean right now? I'm going to go for you standing up there.
The problem is that everyone's throwing pollution and plastic, and it, like some turtles or birds could get their necks stuck inside, and they could get hurt and go to the hospital.
Exactly. So we have pollution. We have something called marine debris, which is a mixture of plastic and other materials, and there's lots of marine debris into the ocean. Yes?
Also, some fish think the plastic that we throw into the ocean are like food, like turtles, and they try to eat it, and they get stuck in it, or just choke.
Exactly. So we're jumping ahead a bit. I'm going to tell you all about this in a second, but if we could go to the next slide. Yeah?
Yeah, you can get up to the stage.
Okay.
I'll be the one to handle.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, next slide, please. So marine debris, primarily it's plastic, but it's everything that we produce that is man-made. So it's everything that could end up in the ocean, and all areas of the world are prone to having marine debris in the ocean. So about 80% of marine debris is made up of plastic, and around 20% is made up of other materials like glass and metal and paper. So think about everything you ever throw away. There's a chance, if it's not managed properly, if waste is not managed properly, that it will end up in the ocean. And then, as these young men have said, it will potentially injure animals in the ocean. So we'll get to that now. So some of the impacts of marine debris, if we could just go to the first one, which you said very correctly, is that animals can ingest marine debris. And what does that mean for them? Sorry, next slide, please. So a lot of the time, plastic bags that end up in the ocean, animals like turtles and fish, they can mistake them for jellyfish, and they might eat them by accident. And then what happens is that they think they're full because they've eaten, but actually they're not getting the kind of nutrients that they need, and they will eventually starve to death because they're not eating the right foods for them. So lots of animals getting injured by plastic in the ocean, also fishing nets. Who's heard of ghost fishing nets? Anyone heard of that term? Ghost fishing nets, yeah? So ghost fishing nets are fishing nets that have, for some reason, been kind of let go from the shipping vessels that are using them, and they end up floating away, and they're just kind of ghosts by themselves in the ocean. And what will happen is that a lot of animals will get tangled in these nets and strangled or not able or injured. You know, they might have injuries on their body. So that's not great at all. Another thing is, what do we do with the fish that's in the ocean? We eat it. Right? So if the fish are eating plastic and we are eating the fish, then we are also eating plastic. And has anyone here heard of the term microplastics? Yeah? You've heard of that? So microplastics are when the plastics get kind of disintegrated into smaller and smaller parts. And so all of the fish, all the way down to ones that are just this big, are able to eat the plastic in the ocean because they're eating these smaller parts of plastic called microplastics. And so plastic's very toxic to animals, but also to human beings. And so we don't want to be eating plastics either. Therefore, if we want to rely on food from the ocean, we need to make sure that the fish in it and all of the animals in it are not also eating plastic. Finally, damage to vessels. So, rubbish. Ships can go out to sea and get caught in large trash patches and other kinds of materials, and it's obviously not great if we're relying on the vessels to catch the fish and for us to eat later. So damage to vessels is also very bad. Okay, so who here is wearing a mask? Lots of you, yes. So you must have all heard by now of something called single-use PPE. So lots of the masks that we've used during COVID, which have been very important, are actually made of plastic, even though they're a softer plastic than we might consider for like a plastic bottle. But what will happen with these masks a lot of the time is in beach cleanups and things, we're finding a lot more masks in the ocean. And so these are another form of kind of plastics that are getting into the ocean and causing a lot of problems for us. So why should we care? Can we ask some people, why should we care? Yeah, whoever you can find.
Save all the...
What was that, sorry? Saving the animals? We're a bit shy, maybe go to another one. Say it loudly.
We need to care for the ocean because it gives us fish and water. We need to care for it because it has marine animals and everything, and they live like us.
Yeah, exactly. It gives us fish that we need to live. What else? Yeah?
We have to save them from getting extinct.
From getting
Because they
extinct.
give us protein and make us healthy.
Exactly. There's lots of animals that are at risk. Lots of turtle breeds that are very at risk of extinction, so we need to be very careful for them. Who here likes to do things in the ocean? Who goes surfing? Who goes on boats? Everyone? Yeah, lots of people. So we need to do it so we have a nice clean environment so that we can all swim and not get sick ourselves. We obviously need to do it to protect the animals, like we've said. And then what we also need to consider is the fact that an ocean is an ecosystem. And what does this mean? Who's heard of the animal food chain? Oh, sorry, just the food chain. So the food chain means that the small fishies are eaten by the bigger fishies, eaten by the whales, are eaten by etc., etc. And we are obviously at the top of that food chain, and in order for that whole food chain, that entire ecosystem to work, we need to make sure that we're not removing an entire species or damaging species across the food chain. Next slide, please. Okay, so question for you. What do you think is the most common marine debris that we find during our beach cleanups as ASRAC?
We find mostly plastic.
Yeah, do you know what kind of plastic though? No?
No.
Someone else?
We find in the ocean, we find plastic bottles.
bottles thrown in, and then when it goes down to the deep, it will get lost until an animal eats it and then dies.
Yeah, plastic bottles are very common, plastic bags. Anyone else? Anything else? Yeah?
In the ocean, you can find things like plastic and glass.
Glass, yeah.
And there are lots of plastic. They take up most of the plastic in the ocean, and all that junk in the ocean, most of it is from the plastic.
Yeah, exactly. Can we go to the next slide to see what we find, please? Next slide, please. Thanks. So yeah, absolutely right. We find bottles, we find caps, we find food wrappers, straws. Straws are very bad. They've been banned in a lot of countries. They can end up turtles' noses, and in other places we don't want them. PPE, the masks that we said. But actually, the most common thing that we find on the beaches is cigarette butts. So these are actually plastic, and not a lot of people realize that. So we definitely don't want cigarette butts on our beaches. It looks dirty and is not very good for the health of the beach and the ocean generally. Next slide, please. Hello. Next slide. Oh, sorry, it's on the back. Okay, so what can you do to keep the ocean safe? So first of all, you can refuse. You can say, no, I don't want that plastic bottle. I have with me my reusable water bottle. I have one, I carry it everywhere with me, and I try not to use plastic bottles. So that's definitely one very easy thing you can do. Also, straws. You don't always need a straw. You can say, no, I'll just drink it out of the glass. You don't need a straw, unless it's a paper straw or something else. Masks, obviously it's very difficult to not wear a mask. We have to all wear masks at some point, but we could choose cotton or, yeah, it's actually material ones. Like I see a lot of you guys having material masks instead of plastic masks. And obviously you're never going to start smoking, so we don't need to worry about that one. Then what else can we do? We can try and reduce the plastic that we consume. So things like going to a grocery store and having a plastic bag, taking a plastic bag. We don't want to do that. We want to take our own bags that are reusable and using as little plastic as we can. Other things like towels and cloth and cardboard. We want to use the most sustainable products that we can. Then we want to look to reuse or repurpose things. So rather than just using a plastic bag once, maybe we use it multiple times. And then lastly, who here recycles? Anyone recycle? A few of you? Yeah? Great. Tell your parents, great. We want to recycle as much of the plastic that we have as possible. Next slide. So this is about us. So ASRAC, as an organization, we try and encourage people to use more sustainable products and to educate, like you guys here, and build awareness. And you can help us by doing that by going home and telling your parents about this amazing presentation that you've had and all of the things you've learned today and the changes that you should be making at home as well. Next slide. We have an online shop for anyone that's interested in seeing what other sustainable products are out there. We can skip this one. Next slide. And yeah, that's kind of the end. Can we please pay Baby Shark? Who here knows the actions? Because I don't. I need 3 people to come up and do the actions for me, the dance. Okay. Let's have, you're very keen. You? Blue top, yeah. Come on down. And red top. Okay, yeah, I said you, yellow. Okay, fine, you come too. Okay. You can all do the moves from here. You have to teach me because I don't know the moves, okay? Have we got the music? Yeah? Okay, go.
much, of course, to our team from Azrak. All the important things we need to know on why we have to keep the ocean clean, of course. Made me think about going to the sea today. I might go to the beach a little later, get a tan, maybe swim in the ocean and clean up a little bit. Okay, so at this point, because we're talking about saving the environment or saving the world in general, we have a special guest with us today. He's a superhero. He's taking some time out of his day just to come and say hi to everybody. I think he's in the back. Let me just double check, because he might fly in since he has a red cape and everything. Give me 1 second. Let me check and see if my friend is there. Okay, so he's going to be with us today, and he's going to talk to us about the things that he does, and he's going to hope, of course, that everybody does the same thing. If I could just have a microphone here, just give me a microphone, please, Miss Janelle, so we can give it to our guest today. Everybody, please join me in welcoming the superhero, Nassir, the planet savior. Put your hands together, everybody. Clap your hands. Look, it's Nassir. Nassir, it's so nice to see you. Fist bump. Ah, he's so strong. Nassir, it's so nice of you to join us here today at the school over here. Here's a microphone. I think you wanted to say some stuff to the kids, and tell us about what you've been doing.
Hi kids, my name is Nassir, and I am a superhero, and I love the environment, and I make sure I clean it every day. I don't use plastic, and when I go to the ocean, I make sure to clean up the beach.
That's really cool, Nassir. And what do you have to say to the kids today?
Well, I hope all the kids listen to the speakers, and I also hope that they do their part in their houses, and they keep the oceans clean.
Wow, okay. And what do you have to say about the kids at this school so far?
Well, I really love the kids in the school. They have been very good, and they have listened and participated. I hope they continue to do the same thing from here on out and listen to their teachers.
Oh, thank you so much, Nassir. Everybody say thank you, Nassir. He's going to go and save the environment. Let me get the microphone from you real quick. Thank you, Nassir. If you want to tell everybody you love them, you want to say thank you, all right. Big kisses. Thank you so much, Nassir. Put your hands together for Nassir, the planet savior. Good job. Okay, so at this point, I believe the teachers will now... Oh, before we actually carry on, let me just get this microphone down here. We do have a special plaque that we would like to give the representative of the school. Not yet. Okay, so let's go back to what I was talking about in the beginning. Do you guys remember about the competition we were talking about, Words for the World? Where could you win a trip to? Turkey. What else can you win? You can win 50 vouchers or 20 Roblox. That's the card game, right? The card game? No, is it the spaceship game? Roblox? What is it? What is it? Roblox? Oh, maybe I haven't played it yet, but we'll play it then. So if I can get one representative to come up here and talk to me about how they can join the competition, let's have, yes, you in red. Here in the middle. Come join me. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Okay, so you will tell your friends how to join the competition, and then you'll give us an example of what to do, okay?
So for anyone that wants to know how to join the competition, it's pretty simple. If you have an iPad or your your parents' phone or anything, just make a screenshot of the code. When you get to the app or website, you can watch videos that shows you how to participate. And when you participate, you can get cool stuff like a free trip to Turkey, a voucher for Emirates Mall, and also a voucher, a Roblox 20 voucher. Yes, you take a video of yourself explaining how to save the environment, eat healthy, and be healthy.
Everybody give a round of applause to Alex. Great job. Well said. You may go back to your seat now. Thank you, sir.
Well said. You can actually have my job. You are a very good speaker. So that's exactly how it's done. Basically, you scan the QR code. If you don't have a cell phone, you ask your older, if you don't have an older sibling, you ask your parents. Or if you're in school and you see the poster, you can even ask your teacher. Hi miss, hi sir, could I please borrow your cell phone? You take it and then you run away. I'm just kidding. Don't run away with a cell phone. Please don't do that. You scan the QR code, you watch the video, it gives you further instructions, and then you take a selfie video of yourself. Or you can even ask your friend to take a video of you, all right? You can even be creative. You can be as creative as possible. You can be at the beach cleaning up while you take the video. Or you could be at home making sure you turn off the electricity before you leave the house. But creativity is what's going to help you win the competition. Everybody excited to win a trip to Turkey? If there's an extra spot, make sure you invite me, please. Okay, so at this point, I would now like to call on somebody very dear to you, and of course, Miss Marion, to join me on stage so we can hand over the plaque of appreciation. Your vice principal, everybody, Miss Harpreet Kaur. Did I say that correctly? I apologize if I butcher the names, but this is the plaque of appreciation that we'd like to give for being an advocate of sustainability and health, inspiring kids to make positive changes. Let's please give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Children, did you like the session? And what did you learn today? Anybody? Come to the stage. Hello. Come.
We learned how to keep environment safe.
Anybody else want to add? Please come.
We learned that we should save fishes from getting polluted because if they get extinct, they make us healthy and they help us with brain power.
Wow. And 1 minute. So how do the fishes keep the environment healthy?
Because they make you have more brain power and make you be active.
Thank you. I know I will ask your teachers. You will share with your teachers in your classroom what did you learn today. But thank you so much for giving us the time, and of course the students have enjoyed. So a big thank you from the Winchester School. Thank you. Children, a big round of applause, providers.
All right, thank you so much, of course, to our speakers and, of course, to the school. Another big round of applause for yourselves. Thank you, Nassir, as well. Big round of applause, everybody. Clap your hands. Good job. And I believe at this point, your teachers are now going to be taking you back to your classrooms, where we will be sending your gift bags as well, okay? So again, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and thank you for having us. Bye.